Hey folks, welcome to episode 63 of Podcast Fat Boy, and it's brought to you by the 34th year anniversary of the Danny DeVito Billy Crystal classic, Throw Mama from the Train. Writer-teacher Larry Donner, played by Billy Crystal, and his student Owen Lift, played by DeVito, have a lot in common. The women in their lives are driving them mad. Larry's ex-wife Margaret, played by Kate Mulgrew, stole his novel and made it her own bestseller. And Owen's mother, played by the late Anne Ramsey, is a monster. But Owen has a plan to kill both problems, literally. Guys, check it out. 34 years. Throw Mama from the Train.
Who's a fat boy?
Podcast Fat Boy.
And we are back. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. You know, it's been a real slog to get this episode recorded. I'm really pushing it right now. It is a long day. You know, I've wrestled with a desk chair trying to fix it, and you know, after many hours I was able to do it. But you know, you're gripping and you're forcing pliers, and you're just you're doing like a little CrossFit on a desk chair, and that's what it feels like. I feel exhausted, but you know what? I'm here to give the goods, so don't you worry about that. The chair is fine. I am fine. And you know, like, how's everyone doing? It's been a little bit of a while since the last episode, you know, still trying to get the 2 episodes a month. Haven't done a March one. We're in spring now. You know, we're getting more light. The clocks are ahead. Time is feeling weird still. You know, we just don't know what's happening. We're not seeing friends and family. We're all waiting for the vaccine. You know, and I think that's what's the challenging thing right now, as we wait for the vaccine, and then we also watch all these variants that are more contagious and more deadly. It's really a race against time here, and our government just can't seem to get the shit together. Am I right? Or am I friggin' right? Oh, man, you know, lots going on, you know. I'll get to the fitness update soon. I'm going to try and actually keep this one a little bit tighter because, you know, I have, you know, I haven't recorded in a while, so you don't want to drift off too far when you are, you know, out of the game a little bit. Sorry for those who have been waiting, you know, for that bi-weekly pod drop. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the 2 in for March because it is the 28th it's the 29th that we're recording. So it means that I'd have to record another one Wednesday, and I don't think anybody wants that. So maybe I'll try to make it up, but maybe I won't. You know, I've had a lot of good resolutions happening that I haven't even really planned for, but we'll get to that in the fitness update. Let's just get to some friggin' birthdays. People are turning the dial here, folks. And you know what? We got to wish them well, you know, some big fucking B-days. So like, where do we even start today? Okay. March the 29th. We got some big ones. The biggest one, Lucy Lawless. She's 53. Fucking Xena. Remember fucking Xena? I love that she fucking came after Kevin Sorbo on Twitter. Fucking all this bullshit QAnon conspiracy crap. That is, oh, fucking Kevin Sorbo. Fucking hate that guy. Brendan Gleeson, 66, great Irish actor. Brendan Gleeson, you'd know his mug if you saw him. Classic Irish face. Son does a lot of acting. Brendan Gleeson, I like him a lot. He's a great actor. Happy fucking birthday. Amy Sedaris is 60. Amy Sedaris, you remember from Strangers with Candy. I remember her from Elf. She played the receptionist. Very hilarious comedian. Sister of David Sedaris. Writer. Yeah, she's one of those actresses like I talked about before with, you know, Dana Carvey, that she should be more stuff, you know? Chris D'Elia. Not having a good couple years, dude. He's 41 today, and, you know, can't really seem to... I just looking at the picture of him right now, he's just a horrifying, greasy dude. and he's having a hard time atoning for all his sexual exploits with minors and whatnot. It'll be a tough road back, man. So enjoy that birthday. I'm sure he doesn't drink or smoke, so I'm sure he's just I don't know, staring at a fucking wall and wondering when it's gonna end. But a comedian that's doing pretty all right, Mr. Eric Idle, Monty Python, is 78. Can you believe it? Oh man, it's gonna be sad. More of these friggin' pythons are dying. They're starting to drop. And you know, when the final one goes, it's not a lot of people will care, but it'll be the true end of an era. I mean, he's 78. Holy shit, Eric Idle. Strange cat. Seems like he'd be a lot of fun, you know. And then, not really a ton of well-wishing that, I just don't know some of these people, so I don't know if I feel inclined to wish him happy birthday, but I do know Paul Herman. He's 75 years old. Paul Herman, who the fuck is Paul Herman? He's a fucking character actor. You might remember him as Beansy from fucking Sopranos. Gets run over, paralyzed. Poor guy. He's a real sad sack, but Beansy had his purpose. And that's pretty much it for the goddamn birthdays. Everybody if you're born on the 29th, you're end of March, enjoy that goddamn birthday, would you? All right, so let's get to the fitness update.
Fitness update.
Okay, so we've had some shit going on here, okay? I've been really busy with work and this and auditions and that, and it's just, once the schedule gets a little more amped up, that's when shit gets real hard to get like I was on a really good, 4 to 5 day workout thing, and I'm just barely keeping up with doing 3 days a week. So I'm still doing 3, but it's been really tough. And, I've got an award on my Apple Watch fitness thing. I got to work out tomorrow and Wednesday to get this badge for 17 workouts, 17 like full days of exercise over the month. So I'm at 15 right now. So, I'm going to, feeling pretty exhausted. Obviously, I'm not going to do that tonight, but I will get those days in because it does bring me a lot of dumb joy to get stupid badges like Treasure Island. I used to play that game as a kid. I feel like I'm trying to catch those little elves with a scroll in their hand. And so I've run into some issues with the exercise bike. I talk a lot about exercise bikes on this podcast, everybody. I've bought one. I've taken it back. I'm having some hard trouble with Amazon. My second bike now has a part that needs to be replaced. It's the resistance style, the thing that controls the tension of the bike. It's the threads on it are fucked. They're bent, and I can't screw it down very far because the middle part of this resistance bar isn't fucking working. So I contacted the company. They got back to me fast. So I'm just waiting now for this thing that hopefully will fix it. I want to do a review on this bike. I want to post it on Amazon, but, I've been putting it off because I'm just like, I want to make sure that, it gets through a certain threshold of time. And, it's been over 3 months. I've done about 570 kilometers on it. And now we've got a major thing. Like I'm currently using dealer chips, from poker to, let's just say make the resistance bar work so that I can actually have a workout. So it's working and, it's exhausting. It just means instead of me having like a difference of 1 to 100, it's about 1 to 4. And once you hit 2, it's pretty difficult. So maybe that's been my problem too, a little bit, it plays on my mind. That's why it's been harder to exercise, but I'm still getting through it. I'll get back on it today. Literally fighting with this desk chair today. I feel like I've been at a CrossFit gym. I feel friggin' wild right now, but we're keeping with the fitness. We're trying to, stay positive and not let it get too negative with, thoughts creeping in. Why bother? Who gives a shit? What does it really matter anyway? Get a lot of that negative stuff in, and you really have to just kind of keep pushing through and that stuff starts to simmer down a little bit, it's going to pop up. It's like that game where you're smashing the goddamn gopher heads down. It pops up a little bit, and you just got to pop her back down, and then everything will be fine. Health news.
News that is health related.
Okay, so speaking of the exercise bike, got me thinking of the Peloton. I've made fun of the Peloton. I've compared the Peloton to my own exercise bike. I think I've vowed on this podcast that I would never buy one because they're, $2,500. You can, finance them with 0% interest. There are some stipulations to that, though, which I'll get into. But I will say that I still have a very strong prediction that Peloton is going to, the demand for it is going to go down, especially once things get back to normal a little bit. People will not be, ordering these bikes because they're stuck at home. They're going to be going back to their gyms. And I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh shit, I've got 5 years left to pay for this bike. What the hell do? I barely ride the thing. If you're not riding that bike 4 times a week, you are wasting your money. It's way too expensive for that. And they're having all kinds of shipment problems right now. People are canceling their orders just because of how long it's taking. Some people are backlogged at 14 weeks. They said 7, they got stretched to double that. And that's pretty rough. So they're obviously having some, the Suez Canal issues. It was long. Hopefully that wasn't just full of Pelotons, because that would have been really tough on them, because they've been battling these shipment issues much longer than the Suez Canal blockage that is now opened up again. But, I found an article talking about, financial planners, if it makes sense for you to get a Peloton, right? And I'd say the main things you got to be aware of is that for one, they do a soft credit check. So they're going to do a soft pull. It won't ding your score, but if you do not qualify, if you do not have good credit, you're not going to get the 0% financing. So if you can't get that, don't even think about getting this bike, because holy shit, it'd be 10 to 30% interest on your payments. It'd be fucking crazy. You got to ask yourself, how long will you finance it for? How often will you use the item? How much will the bike ultimately cost, including all of the interest charges? All these things you got to put in to perspective, see if it works for you, and then make a decision, but they seem to be recommending that if you do buy it, do finance the bike, don't, unless you just want to get the $2,500 thing out of your way, do it that way. But, why not take advantage of something like that and not eat it up. You know what I mean? Don't eat it up. So yeah, they're spending millions and millions of dollars to fix the shipping delays. They've put $100 million into their shipping, trying to get, more sea freight, trying to get more planes and stuff like that. But it's not looking good. It doesn't look good on the company. And there's a lot of competitors coming out now that they also have $2,500 bikes. It makes me think see, that's why I don't get, my bike is all fucked up, but I don't get too bent out of shape, because I paid, it was a gift, but it was a $380 bike compared to this. If I got to grease it up a little bit, tighten some knobs, replace some threads, then I'm going to do it. And I don't really give a shit, because I'm winning here. I'm exercising, and I can, I can subscribe to fucking Peloton if I want to do their goddamn classes. It doesn't matter. Oh, gracious. Okay, so some other health news. This is personal health news, but I have stopped biting my nails. This is a big fucking deal, because we all know how disgusting, putting your hands in your mouth, especially during COVID. It's a lot worse. But, I think I talked on the pod about some New Year's resolutions, and I said oh, like, what should I say? Like, I'm going to stop biting my fingers. Like, that's going to happen. And, you know, I think I talked and said that I broke a tooth and I biting my fingers. And that was kind of the line for me. Also, cause I can't use that tooth anymore. I'm scared that I would do it again. And, you know, do something to the filling. So I just stopped doing it. And now it's been almost 2 fucking months. This is the first time probably in my whole life that I haven't had an oral fixation. And I'm very proud of myself. And thanks everybody for the support and the output. It means a lot. And also, like, my teeth hygiene has been great. I've been flossing. I'm wearing my night guard. You know, that makes me feel good too. It makes me feel like I'm, you know, doing something right here, folks. But, you know, it is what it is. So some people actually, they just deal with it, you know. I'm proud that I've stopped. And, you know, that's pretty much it in the health and fitness world. Okay, so we got like a couple of things to talk about. The first thing is, you know, this is always a tough thing to read about. You know, there's obviously the coronavirus is going on. You know, you're hearing all kinds of symptoms. I was sure I had it a couple days ago. I woke up, had a headache. My fucking throat was a little bit sore. I was really tired. And, you know, I just was like, fuck, here we go. So I ended up sleeping on the couch and I like wore a mask inside, you know, like I was pretty worried. But then, you know, I think it could have been my allergies or whatnot. When all those symptoms went away, you know, think I'm totally fine. But, you know, there's always this constant worry. And then you're just hearing all this other stuff now about the coronavirus. As, you know, it's causing diabetes. It causes blood clots. It causes, you know, brain disorders and all kinds of shit. And then like this poor fella in Ohio suffered a painful 3-hour erection before dying of COVID. A 3-hour erection. Painful. The man was 69 too. So probably really fucking scared the shit out of him. But what happened was they flipped him over. He was like lying face down for 12 hours. I guess he's, you know, in pretty rough shape. And I guess when they flipped it over, they saw like, whoa, I didn't realize that Mountain Equipment Co-op was still going. Thought it shut down. He's popping a tent. I should make fun of this. The man died pretty much of it. But, you know, oh God, they couldn't get it down. They put some ice on it. It wouldn't work. So they actually had to drain blood from his penis with a needle. And, you know, they sedated him and I think he died shortly afterwards. Oh my God. It's like, I know this is rare, but God damn, does it have to be all the worst shit in the world coming from this fucking thing? I really think it's the Earth. The Earth is trying to scrape us off. We are like sea lice, and it is trying to just rip off the skin and expunge the human race with all this shit. But give me that drip so I can fight back. Give me the drip. Give me the vaccine. Now, you know, this is a pro fast food podcast. We're one of the only pro fast food fitness podcasts in the industry. We're very proud of that. And, you know that I'm a pro Big Mac, but I try not to look too far into it because I do know that, you know, Big Macs are really bad for you. You know, there's a lot of bad ingredients in it. There's actually 54 ingredients that are required to make a Big Mac. And on insider.com, like I think a Food Wars host teamed with a scientist, and the scientist is like, I'm going to create everything in the Big Mac from scratch. and that's like the processed cheese, the Big Mac sauce, which there's a couple ingredients are secret, so they have to do it. But it's like not even just mixing food ingredients. It's like some terrible fucking chemicals in the Big Mac. And I'll just play a little bit of it so you can hear right off the bat just how bad some of them are.
This one right here is alum. This is potassium aluminium sulfate, and it's primarily used in things like leather tanning, in dyeing, and in fireproofing textiles. It's pretty strong stuff. For example, if you boil some of this, it can actually dissolve steel in just a few hours.
Dissolve steel.
We're one chemical in, and already we're talking about dissolving steel.
Yeah.
You say?
Yeah. No, he said steel.
No.
I know.
Harry, please be careful.
Be careful.
Put on some gloves. For God's sake.
Yeah, put on some gloves.
This one right here is soy lecithin. You've probably heard my Food Wars co-host Joe mispronounce this one a million times.
Lecithin.
Lecithin.
Lecithin. Lecithin.
Oh.
Soy lecithin.
It's a lubricant and an emulsifier.
Okay.
It's considered safe for consumption, but there have been some preliminary studies to suggest that overconsumption may promote depression, which is kind of the last thing I need. But what exactly do we mean by emulsifier? Well, as we all know, oil and water don't usually mix. An emulsifier is something which helps you get around that problem. In the Big Mac, it's used in the cheese and the sauce, just to kind of help everything stay together. And finally, we have polysorbate 80, otherwise known as polyoxyethylene sorbitan monooleate, or the more catchy tween. Now, this might come in a handy applesauce style pouch, but it's probably our most controversial chemical here. Studies have shown that it can lead to an increase in colon cancer and infertility in mice.
Oh, great.
It's not a guarantee to say that it will do the same to humans, but it's probably not the best sign.
Probably not. We're pretty close to them.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. Good. Slice. Ugh.
Okay, so he's making, and now they're going to get into the cheese.
Pasteurized American cheese.
So it's I'll post a link to it if you want. You can watch the whole thing on Insider. They do like a pretty amazing job to make processed cheese. But yeah, there's a lot of disgusting fucking things that that go into the McDonald's Big Mac. I guess one of those ingredients used to fireproof stuff and dissolve metal. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? It's just I think they even talk about like the pickles, like they put all kinds of chemicals in that shit to make it crunchy, and it just, the whole thing tastes so fucking manufactured. I think that's why I wish I was just a robot that could eat Big Macs. If I ever was to become some kind of android, I'd be like, just, can I still eat Big Macs? Like, does Data, I wish Data ate Big Macs on Star Trek. No, I wish he was just always, and I would have been like, why didn't they, good on them for not, asking the computer for some product placement, computer, make me a double Big Mac, like they never did that. There was always just meat and potatoes, some dumb drink, a fancy dessert. I feel like they use it mostly for dessert. Getting on a bit of a rant here about TNG, but the last thing I want to talk about before I go is the Seaspiracy. Now, look, I never saw the Cowspiracy doc, and I haven't read all of the, reviews against it. Some people got issues with this guy making these documentaries, but it seems pretty fucking simple to me. There was just a lot of things that I didn't really understand. That, I've come after like shark fin soup on this podcast. I've made some jokes about how we should turn the shark, make edible undies as the base chemical for, manufactured shark fin. And I did manufacture it for a while. I had a supplier in Asia, and it did quite well. And, that's just only one of the problems. Yes, killing the sharks. A lot of sharks get killed just for that. And that is, we lose our sharks, everything's going to fall apart. But it's the overfishing and the fucking blue checks on your tuna can. It's all bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit. They're all owned by these like same companies. And fishermen just like come off the boat and be like, I didn't kill any dolphins, don't worry. And apparently the biggest way that fish die is called bycatch. And, how can you believe anything these days? But it just seems real legit that the problem is just fishing. It's like we just can't get enough. We just can't get enough. We fucking just fish like crazy, man. We're killing so many fish, and we're eating fucking salmon that's painted pink, and it's, you know, they all have sea lice, and they're fucking these farms, and, you know, check it out. I'm just saying that maybe I got to stop eating fish. I think, you know, I think we all need to stop eating fucking fish, man. Because if we fuck up the ocean and, you know, we stop getting oxygen from the ocean because we get like 85% of it from the fucking ocean, then we're fucked. You know, if we get like dead oceans, oh man, it's just, it's not good. It's not fucking good. And I know, you know, I'm biased. I do eat meat, and fish is like the least I eat. But, you know, I think it's worth watching, and it's worth thinking about in a way where, you know, it might not be so much. I know plastic is a big problem. That's pretty much what the doc is saying, is like there's a lot of focus by environmental groups on plastic and plastic straws and in noses of sea turtles, but it's all the fucking fishing equipment, fishing lines, all that shit. Apparently that is just the main thing that is floating around in the water and is killing all of these fish. Is not good. We need to do something about it, or we got to kiss humanity goodbye. Bit of a bummer. Episode 63. You know, it was tough. That was a tough one. I hope it was okay. I hope everyone had a good time. Check out Fromama from the Train. Anne Ramsey, nominated for an Oscar. She's the fucking greatest. Anne Ramsey, also my top pick would have to play Tony Soprano's mom. Fucking don't at me on it, okay? She would have been great.